Hey guys, this is Steve with Orlando Collector Deviants. Tonight we are here with the awesome comic creator Luke. I put the N in Indy Stone.
I love it. I'm actually going to go by that now.
Okay, cool. And then of course you guys, we got behind the scenes. We've got Trish. What color should I do my hair next? Halsey.
It's about that time.
Oh yeah, the purple is wearing out. So okay, so Luke, thank you for coming on the show. I know we've only barely met, like just for a few minutes in DeLand.
Yeah, just for a few minutes. First off, thanks for having me tonight. I love being able to hang out, talk about comics and stuff like that, and especially when people that are pretty close to my backyard. You know, it's great to be able to connect, and so I really appreciate that. But yeah, we just met for a couple minutes in DeLand at the can't remember what that show was called, but
The DeLand Toy and Collectible Show.
oh yes. It was a nice little show. You know, there was quite a bit of traffic. It was nice. So
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shows to always start off the year at. Because that one's been going for years. The original promoter of it sold it to the current promoter, and they've kept it in the same place and just kept it growing and keeping it still straight to the original bones of the con.
well, yeah, it was real nice. This is my first time ever being to that one, and you know, I was real impressed with it. So yeah.
Well, if you were impressed by that one, here in March you should make a trip down from Jacksonville and visit this show. Shameless plug.
Yeah, well, I absolutely will.
Sorry, gotta throw it in when I can.
Hey, you know what? There's no shame in that game, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, so Luke, tell us a little bit about like the comics that you do. That way, some people might not recognize you, but you talk about the comic, and they're like, "Hey, I know that."
Yeah, well, you know, I pimp those things out pretty hard, so they may have heard of them here or there. I do a book called Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. I am on issue 6. And issue 6 is actually part 1 of our new arc called The Killing Field, which is live on Indiegogo right now. And so I've been producing that. I originally started back in 2016 with a company called Tenacious Comics, which was something that I had started with some friends. And that company wound up, because of, you know, normal life and things, wound up having to kind of go to the wayside. And of all of the books that I was doing another one at the time called Worst Day Ever. And out of like that, I thought that was kind of my main title, you know, my big one. And Hybrids was just kind of this little side thought thing that I was doing. I planned it out for a while, but I didn't think anyone would really get into it. And but that wound up getting picked up by another publisher. And so we just finished out the 5th issue and the first arc in 2020. I'm also working on another book called Voodoo Nation. So I'm the artist for that. You may have seen. So far, it has been the most fan-arted book that I've ever been a part of. And so people are doing fan art of Bishop Lucas all the time. And yeah, that's the cover for the new issue 2, which I just wrapped up the art with. Just a couple of, like, last week, actually. It's been a very busy week. I finished it up last week.
Me and Trisha actually been on that corner just last November.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a trip down to New Orleans for Thanksgiving. So
yeah, I'll tell you that book was a lot of fun to draw because Travis, the writer, Travis Gibb, he put so many scenes of being inside of New Orleans in that. And so my goal was to make New Orleans a character, you know, to actually make the city part of the fabric of the story that was being told, like it was its own character in there. And so I think I accomplished it. I think, but the backers will have to let me know after they get the book once we launch that. I think in a month. We launch in a month, maybe month and a half.
Okay. Now that one's going to be on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, that one's going to be on Kickstarter. I'm not sure. That one's released under Travis's company, Orange Cone. So I'm not sure what his plans are to take that to Indiegogo or not. I know that the issue 1 never made it to Indiegogo, and you know, it might be a good idea to take both of them over there. But again, I'll let that be up to him.
And we have one comment real quick. We got Jennifer who says she was there, must have missed you. Jennifer, you were sitting right next to me the whole day.
I think she's talking about Luke, maybe.
Yeah, I think she's talking about Luke.
Yeah, I didn't set up. I didn't have a table, so you probably didn't see me. I was there as a guest, which is a rare occasion where I get to go to these conventions as a guest. And I wound up buying some toys and some comics, and then I went for a nice lunch.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's always a good day.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to. So you do most of like hybrids on Indiegogo.
I do now. Yeah, I started out running a Kickstarter, and then I would do a Indiegogo as cleanup afterwards to go in demand. I decided to kind of flip flop that for my trade paperback that I just did at the end of last year for the part like kind of volume 1, the first 5 issues. And most of my backers went ahead and went over to Indiegogo because I had an exclusive cover over there. I was trying out a new platform, trying to learn it a little bit, and I liked it so much that I'm kind of staying there. And yeah.
See, I don't do Indiegogo. I don't know why. I've just been on Kickstarter, backing on Kickstarter forever, and I don't go over to Indiegogo for. And I know a lot of the creators are doing either both or kind of going more towards Indiegogo.
Yeah, there were a lot of reasons for me to do that. I like the secret perks. I always try to do a retailer perk. So for retailers out there and they want to get the book I do a very steep discount, anywhere between 45 and 55% discount, sometimes more, to get the books out there. And I would usually put one of those perks up on Kickstarter, and I would never, without fail, someone who was not a store owner would grab that perk. So I like Indiegogo because it's secret perks, and so I could send out that special retailer perk to actual retailers, and because it's not there for people to take advantage of or exploit. It's there to actually help the brick and mortars because we want to partner with them. I fell in love with comics going to a comic book shop, and crowdfunding is great. And for the most part, it's great. Most of the people that I support on those platforms, they actually fulfill their books. There are some people that don't. But it's the brick. It's never going to replace the going into the comic shop and looking on the shelf and finding some new treasure that you didn't know that you wanted or needed. And so I try to partner as best I can with the retailers to do that. And that's why I like so I like the Indiegogo because I can have the secret perks with that, and I also have the add-ons, which Kickstarter's doing that now. But and then there's a couple like the logistical reasons where Indiegogo they actually take your payment right away. So when you pledge, you pledge right away, and it takes your money right away. And so there's not that like surprise, like I just had 3 Kickstarters that I backed, are coming out, and now I don't have money for groceries or anything like that. But then it also eliminates the failed pledges. Like where I had a campaign once where I had like $400 or $500 in failed pledges. And $400 or $500 makes a big difference when it comes to printing and paying for a book because making a comic is expensive. So. Oh
yeah, no, and like what you're talking about with Kickstarter, yeah, I back so many, I forget to tell Trish, and all of a sudden she's just going through. Oh yeah, another Kickstarter came out. Oh yeah, another Kickstarter. I get a text message. Hey, did you back a Kickstarter? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, so I do that too, but I try to and I have other stuff that goes on. And I normally would run both platforms, but I have so many things that's going to be on Kickstarter like right after this. So this is only going to last until the 28th of the month because actually come Sunday, another project that I'm part of. So my company Terraform Comics, we have a thing called the Continuum that launches on Valentine's Day. So and that's going to be on Kickstarter. So I couldn't also be on Kickstarter with that, and then Voodoo Nations is going to be on Kickstarter. So for this one, I just decided to do 28 days on Indiegogo.
See, in Terraform Comics, that sounds so familiar. I don't know. Have you set up at other conventions and stuff like up in Jacksonville or anything?
I have, yeah. Not recently because of the pandemic, but yeah, I have. But we didn't have Terraform at the time. Actually, Terraform was a product of the pandemic, so we all got together. We're making comics every day, and
see, for some reason, Terraform just sounds familiar, which is a good thing because if it sounds familiar, then it's like, yeah, hey.
Well, we have been talking
about.
Yeah, we have been talking about it a lot and promoting it a lot. So I think we did more like talking about it, promoting it before we actually have our first book out. And so, but this is our first that contains some Terraform owned IPs and then some creator owned IPs. So it's a neat project. Basically what it is, it's for lack of a better term, it's an anthology that continues. So it's like the part one of an anthology. So basically, if I were to explain it this way, what if I had a 24-page story, you had a 24-page story, and Trish had a 24-page story? And it's really expensive. But that would be cool, right? But it's very expensive to make 24 pages. It takes a long time to make 24 pages. You don't get paid for that. You got to pay all that up front, and then you don't get paid for it until on the back end once you like run that Kickstarter or you sell the book. So we got thinking, well, what if I took some pages from mine and you took some pages from yours and she took some pages from hers? We put them all together in a book. It's less pages that we all have to create on our own and out of pocket. And then we get a chance to sell those. And not only am I selling it to my audience, and so that means when I'm selling to my audience, you and Trish both get your story seen by my audience, and then vice versa. And then that allows us to be able to make a little bit of money off of those pages in order to put money back into the next pages and to continue that process until we, fulfill a story, until we've told all the story that we want to tell through that medium. And so that's basically what we're doing. So instead of using just an example of 3 creators with 3 books, we've kind of ramped that up, and it's called the continuum. So we'll have stories that start in this issue that continue into the next, or maybe even bounce over an issue and go into the next issue after that. And so so that's how we're working that. It's a kind of a new way for creators to create, so they can really step up the quality without breaking the bank and killing themselves. And it also allows us to get higher quality material out to the readers at a faster pace. So I think it's good for everybody. I think it's one of those things that will ultimately help the fans and the creators. And I think that it might kind of change the way comics are, especially indie comics, are approached in the next few years. That's my hope anyway.
Cool. And for everybody who's watching or will be watching a little bit later, the Indiegogo project is in the comments. Trish put it over there. So if you're interested in it, you can click on that, go straight over there. So how long have you been interested in doing comics before you actually started doing a comic? And how did you come about doing the comic?
Yeah, that's a good question. I fell in love with comics early. So my mom and dad used to go out to this little place. We used to live in a place called Kokomo, Indiana. And there was this little diner called the Breakfast House. And they would go sit out in the Breakfast House till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, drinking coffee with their friends. I was 3 when they did that. I was with them. So I would have to self-entertain before I fell asleep in the booth, So one of the things they did is my mom would give me a pen and a napkin and some paper, and I would draw. And I just got into drawing. It was scribbles and it was stick figures, and I put clothes on stick figures. Eventually it started having some shape to it. And I remember I was probably 5 or 6, maybe just a little bit older than that. But I was really into He-Man at the time. And my dad's friend from work knew that. And so he had given my dad some comics to give to me. And one of those comics was issue 4 of the Secret Wars that Mike Zeck did. And I just fell in love. I fell in love with the comics at that point. I knew I wanted to draw comics, whatever it took. And so I started copying all those pictures. I would get these muscle magazines, with these guys who try to learn how to draw all these big muscle people and stuff like that. I think my dad was a little worried at first, see me sneak all these all these magazines in my room with these big buff guys. And I'm like, no, it's not like that, Dad. But I was, drawing everything I could. And I remember 14, I had people encourage me, and I wound up drawing some stuff, some X-Men characters, and sending them off to Marvel to be critiqued. And, got some decent feedback from them. But as things happen, life happens. There wasn't a lot of people in my neighborhood, in my community, that were really reading comics. So every time I did a comic, they'd be like, oh, that's a nice thing. And then they would kind of poo-poo that and go on to the next thing. And I really wanted to create and have my voice heard. And so one of the things that really sparked with me is I started playing guitar, and people were really impressed by music in my hometown. So it was an opportunity for me to be able to write and create and to have an outlet for that. And but I always kept going back to comics, Steve, always, because I just loved comics. And I'd create a new comic with a friend. We would write a thing here, try something there. And so when Kablam first came out on the scene, I figured, hey, I could self-publish now, because we used to try to do it with a local printer where you had to, like, every aspect was manual. There was no digital aspect to it at all. And it was always really complicated, really expensive, and really hard to do in this small town. And so music just seemed to be the right path. And it wasn't until 2014, when I moved to Jacksonville, that it was really hard to put together a band. So I just dove right back into comics, and I decided that I really wanted to do comics again. And so that's kind of where that came from.
Hold on one second. We got Joe De La Rosa saying, what's happening, peeps? We're doing good tonight, Joe. I hope you're doing good. And I forgot to tell you, throughout the show, we get the comments when we pop them up, because sometimes they ask questions, sometimes they're just a troll. But hey,
I always like the questions.
Joe is an avid follower. He's there every week for us, so awesome. I love Joe. Now, you say you're up in Jacksonville, and see, up in Jacksonville, they like their comics and the geekness, I'm going to say. Yeah. They're very supportive up in Jacksonville. So
very, yeah.
You landed in a great spot there.
I really did. I came from a community that was, like, really strong with independent music. And when I came here, there's still some indie groups and stuff like that, but mostly solo artists. So it's really hard to, like, put together a band. And something kind of tragic happened that really drove me into it. So I'm good friends with a guy named Gary Dale. And Gary's brother, Jeremy, was a really talented artist in our group. And he wound up working for IDW, drew G.I. Joe, did a book called Skyward, and always kind of lived vicariously through the idea, the idea that one of us made it into the comics industry. We all kind of wanted to, but one of us did it. But he wound up in November of 2014. He got sick. He went to a convention and picked up some con crud, and it turned out to turn into something really bad, and he wound up passing away, as a young, just a couple years older than I was. And it shook me, man. I was like, this guy was doing what I wanted to do, and he's gone. And I could be gone tomorrow, and I've not yet done one of the things I really want to do, which is making my comic book. I've never really legit made a comic book that people have bought and read, and where I've told a story. You've always you mess with the first issue, maybe get a second issue, but never like a full run of something that really means something to you. And so it just it snapped me kind of out of my laziness and got me working. And then I found out that Jacksonville is like this huge supporter of indie comics and indie creators. And I was like, I did land into the gold mine here. I had a local shop, the Mythical Mountain. They were the first ones to sell my books and to help me out and give me a platform and an audience. And it's funny because they were also, as I became a lead pastor while I was here. Jamie and Kathy were my first wedding that I performed.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I love those guys.
So now that you talked about how being a pastor, how has that had any influence on the comics or not influence?
Obviously kind of who you are goes into your writing and things like that. I don't write a Christian comic, but some of the principles of my faith make it in there, especially like in an allegorical sense and things like that. Sometimes it's complicated to be, it's a very, as a pastor, I'm a pretty conservative individual. In comics, there's not a lot of conservatism or even faith in comics. So I find myself around a lot of people that don't think the same way that I do, but that's okay because I enjoy spending time with those people. So really, the biggest influence is it's not necessarily to the creating aspect or to the art or the writing. It's the influences in the relational aspect of, you know, who I get to work with and how I get to work with people, you know. So I've found myself at conventions where people find out that, you know, I'm a pastor, and they're like, we'll be talking about Spider-Man one second, the next second we're talking about a marriage that they're struggling with or something like that. So I feel like it's a good opportunity for, you know, to allow my faith to help other people and do what I do for a faith community for people that maybe they don't have that connection in their life, you know, to be an ear for them and you know, someone to listen.
See, perfect. We got to get you a corner booth at a convention. You can have a confessional right behind you.
Yeah.
You're going to say, you know, comics here, confessions there, you know. You can do the duo thing right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And okay, we got Aaron who says, "Hi everyone." Aaron is also a comic book creator. He just had a Kickstarter going. I don't know if it's still going. Aaron, is it still going or not? He's been on the show a few times. He become a good follower also. I got a question about hybrids.
Sure.
So have you made any of the characters kind of based off of you? Because I'm looking. Trash Man kind of reminds me of you.
That wasn't intentional. So Trash Man looked like that before I looked like this. Okay, so it just turned out that I draw him so much that I'm like, the beard started looking like his, my hair started looking like his. You know, it's like, you know how like spouses start to look like each other, or like a
oh God,
a person will start to look.
You should see the look I'm getting right now.
You need to look like me because I'm not going to look like you.
She's like, oh, Lord, help me.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to color his hair purple.
Yeah. You know, sometimes people start looking like their dogs. Yeah, I think that's what's happened. I think I just started kind of, you know, taking on the aesthetic of, you know, the hair and stuff. Yeah. And the muscles, clearly I'm built like that. Right.
Oh yeah.
Clearly that's how I look. But, so no, not really anything was based off of me in there. I'm not one of those writers that always puts myself into the books, but I do put other people I know in the books. So.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Gonna hit a couple of comments real quick. We got
sure.
Joe saying yes. Joe actually works in a church himself, so he's part of a whole church thing. Aaron, yeah, the Kickstarter's still going. It's not doing so well though. And then he's also saying about you, that's a self-portrait of you and Trash Man right there.
Yeah. So I will say this to Aaron, keep your chin up, man. It is right now is a difficult time to crowdfund. Okay. It ebbs and flows, and there's good weeks and bad weeks. Usually the first week is pretty decent and the last week is decent. All the time in the middle is plateaued. So I was able to get my funding amount in the first 24 hours. Thanks to my support base, but it has been slow going to get to the next stretch goals, and I've got 17 days left, and I'm kind of where a lot of people are. It's like, man, this just is dragging, and I don't feel like it's, you know, there's no momentum or things like that. But you're not alone in that, because I know a lot of creators that are going through that right now. But keep your chin up, and if you need any pointers on how to promote or what to do. I don't know your experience with crowdfunding. Maybe you could teach me some things, but you know, if there's anything that I know, you know, that I might be able to help out with, I'd be happy to, because, you know, we're all in this together, just trying to make great comics for people.
And Tommy Florante says, "What's up, fellas? Sorry I'm late. We were just talking about Kabam. You were mentioning Kabam earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kabam or Kaboom, whatever. Yeah.
Kablam.
There we go. Kablam. See,
Kablam. Yeah.
You wonder what I do for you.
And Martin says, Luke Stone, thank you for helping me with Indiegogo.
Hey man, that's no problem at all. I really like the platform. It's really nice. For anybody that doesn't use, I know you said you don't normally back there. Really consider it. And the other thing is it takes less money from the creators, so the fees are less, and so that's really what I like it, because I don't have to make as much in order to be able to produce the book and still be able to turn a little bit of a profit. I can go get a Starbucks at the end of the campaign.
Well, as long as it's not a hybrid half. I don't know. I don't do Starbucks. I just know the names are longer than coffee.
I know, right? What is with that? I don't understand it. It's
But you should. When you go to Starbucks, just to screw with them, go in and say, I want medium roast coffee, and they look at you, huh? You want foam or something on it? No, just a coffee.
Yeah.
They look at you like you
can't do that.
You're possessed.
I'll tell you what I'm addicted to is Wawa.
I like Wawa.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school. Well, yeah, see, Wawa.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm still kind of old school with the 7-Eleven coffee. It kind of always grew up on that,
Yeah. Yeah, I drink so much coffee these days. It's like my whole goal this year is to draw like it's my last year of existence. So I just started a book on Sunday, and I'm already 13 pages into it. This is the fastest that I've ever drawn in my life. And so I just finished a book. I'm going to finish this book, and then I've got 2 more books already lined up to go after it. And so I'm trying to get a comic book drawn a month. And so my goal is to have 10 books out this year. So that I've drawn, and then probably 5 or 6 that I've written and had another artist do. So
well, you're halfway there, and it's only the second month. So yeah, you got time.
Yeah, and so it requires copious amounts of coffee to make that happen, and a tremendous ability to sit in the chair for hours on end.
Aaron says, "Be awesome. Thanks about you giving them some pointers."
Absolutely.
And Americans love their coffee.
Yeah,
I think everybody likes their coffee. I mean, especially in Colombia, because that's where coffee comes from. They love it. They might not drink it, but they get money from it. So,
Colombian coffee is delicious.
Oh yeah, I actually, I have my Keurig now because I was getting yelled at. Why are you going to the store and buying coffee if I bought you a Keurig? So I have to use that at home now.
Yeah, but my Keurig gets probably 5 or 6 uses a day, which is that's kind of a bit. But then I also make my trips to Wawa and I get my iced coffee because right now they got the iced coffee for $2 any size. Sheesh.
Oh well, see, I liked him up until he said iced and coffee. That contradicts itself.
Well, I like hot coffee too, but I like iced coffee. I can't help it, and I like whipped cream on my stuff. I'm not going to apologize for Steve. Put some whipped cream on that, drizzle some chocolate over it. Yeah, I don't care. It's delicious.
Okay.
Then you got a mocha latte.
Yes.
Then put some ice cream in it. Then you got a float.
Yeah. Why not?
And Cedric says, drink more coffee.
Yeah.
No, Cedric, you don't need. I know Cedric, and he doesn't need to drink any more coffee. He needs to come off the coffee. Now, how you were talking about how you already have like 2 books already after the one that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
How far in advance do you like create or you have it in your head? How many like stories that you got going on?
Oh, that's a good question. So I have, I have arced out all of the Killing Field, which is the hybrid story going right now. So I have all of that arced out, and I am scripting. So I'm drawing issue 7 or part 2 right now, and I'm scripting out parts 3 and 4. Part of it has been done already, and then the rest I'll probably finish that tonight. And then I'm outlining the next arc, so the next 4 issues. So I try to work out ahead of time, and I'm not going to get the next arc done until next year, but I want to have it written so that I know what's happening. And for the other stories, I've got I'm working on a new one called Rift Riders, which is an all ages comic book that's going to be done with Terraform. I'm working on one with Rob Anderson called Juror 13, and then one called Wolf and Fox, which is his idea, and I'm the artist behind it. And then I think we've got all 4 issues written, and so we'll have 2 more issues of Voodoo Nations to do this year. And so I think he's got those written and ready to start laying out and things. So we work pretty far ahead. And so me personally, my story is I'm trying to work a year ahead, as far as the scripts go.
And see, you keep popping off names that you're collaborating with some pretty big indie people here in Florida.
Yeah.
With Rob, Travis, because I know Travis, he's great. I guess you helped Martin.
Haven't collaborated with him yet, but yeah.
Well, knowing Martin, he'll have you collaborating within last month.
I'm always good to work on things. I love, I do have, there's another artist, another writer that was supposed to hit me up for a book, and I was supposed to start it this month and didn't. So I actually have some open space for people. So I am taking commissions.
Okay. So see everybody, he's taking commissions. Go click on him. Now, okay, hold on. We got a couple. We got Cedric. Y'all have a blessed night. I have to blow up 200 balloons for Phoenix's 3rd birthday. Use a pump, man. It's easier that way. Or get more coffee.
Oh, wait, not that kind of blow up. Okay.
And then Aaron says, 200, damn, a lot of blowing. Hope you have a pump.
That kind of reminds me of my first day as a youth pastor, as the on-staff youth pastor at a place. We were doing a water balloon fight, and I had to fill up 200 water balloons by hand. And I probably broke. We had 400 balloons, and we got 200 out of them. I was soaked in my pruny fingers, and I was like, they don't talk about this when they talk about going into ministry and doing youth ministry. They don't talk about the 200 water balloons. But I feel for you, Cedric. Hang in there, man.
And Aaron said, guys are good at that. We have practice. I think that's blowing things up or making water balloons. You're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to be a little. Because we're talking about blowing things. I'm hoping it's blowing things up.
I like to blow things up.
Oh yeah, I love 4th of July. Now with hybrids, because you got the newest one, pumping. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He says pumping.
Pumping. Okay.
Had to be sure there.
Just where are we going?
We haven't hit 9 o'clock where the PG drops off. Okay. With hybrids, because you got the latest one going on Indiegogo, where can everybody get the earlier issues so they can kind of catch up and see where the story's going?
Yeah. So I do have a catch-up package on the current Indiegogo where you can get the trade paperback plus the new issue. But if you want the old floppies, just look up Hybrids Trash Day on there, or look up Hybrids on Indiegogo, and that is in demand. So you can I'm still shipping out the other, the old trade paper, not old. I mean, it's not even 6 months old yet. I'm still shipping out the trade paperback for the first arc. So I'm looking at a stack of them. My office used to be part music room, part office. And then I needed room to start shipping out comics. So I took all my music gear and put it in the closet and set up tables. And now it's a distribution center. So it's got comics everywhere.
Now I have a question. Now, yes. On the Indiegogo, is the hat one of the perks?
Yes, the hat is one of the perks. Through my website, I have I like swag. I like hats and stuff like that. So all of the swag, like the merch items, are shipped separate than the books. So like the books I fulfill, but all of the I have a fulfillment center that takes care of all the swag. So it does ship separate, but yeah, it's a high quality hat. It's very nice.
Oh well, you since you don't really know me, everybody knows I am a hat guy. I have a different hat for every day of the month. So, and when I find a hat, you should have saw her look when I showed her the hat, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, that dad hat's already kind of pre-worn a little distressed. Just it's right up my alley. So
Now, what is this one? Is that a cup you get with it?
yeah,
Sorry,
so with this one,
I'm going through the different levels.
Oh no, that's fine. So with this, you get cover A and cover B. So I did cover A. Cover B is the one that's really shown there, and that is Nitho Diaz, and he is an artist that is absolutely tremendous. But he's worked for IDW as well as many others. He was a GI Joe artist for a while. So you get those two books. Yeah, cover B, Nitho Diaz.
That's his cover, right?
That's his cover. Yeah, gorgeous cover. So you get cover A, which is mine, and then cover B, which is his. And so then you also get the it's cover A.
Yeah. That way I can show everybody up close there.
Yeah, I like that. Appreciate that. And so then you get the chibi sticker of Rascal. So he's a cute little brute. And then you got Joe Spicer of Starcross Comics does all my chibis for me, and he just did a tremendous job on that. It just looks so great. And then we got the trading card, and then you also get a sketch card. So I'll do like an original sketch. You can request what you want done, or I'll just do a kind of a bust portrait of of one of the characters from the books. And then you get the rest of the swag. So you get a backpack with the art that you see there featured on that backpack and on this blanket is from Kanan White. So Kanan White did a cover for our trade paperback. And we decided we wanted to really capitalize on that art because everyone really liked it. He's a tremendous artist. And so we put it on the backpack. And so that backpack will fit, it can fit a 15-inch laptop. And then you get the dad hat, you get a coffee mug, and you get the blanket. So that's a 60 by 70 inch fleece throw. It's super silky soft and very comfortable. I have one in the living room for when I'm playing Overwatch and I get chilly. So
see, look, a hat and a blankie.
Yeah,
I'm in heaven. And another coffee cup. Look, okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out. That's my.
It's got a lot of cool stuff with it.
Now, one of the things, you don't just draw this. You do draw commissions that I noticed when I was going through. Mm-hmm. And I know Trish saw it because I don't really let Trish see the intros until I'm doing it. That way it's a surprise for everybody.
Yeah.
But that Wonder Woman you did.
Yes.
I saw when it popped up and I put it on the intro. Oh, she went crazy because she's everything Wonder Woman.
I am a huge Wonder Woman fan. And I like
you more and more.
Yeah, I think Gal Gadot does a good job. I think she
amazing.
Does a good job. Yeah, I'm really, and everyone that hated they hated the new movie. I was like, you guys don't get it. Like the old TV show was a little campy, and so they kind of brought that into the new movie, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had a good time with it. So yeah, I was a fan. But yeah, so I actually used to do live draws where I would, go on live, and I haven't done one for a while just because I've been so busy, but I would just pick a character and draw. And so I did that Wonder Woman one day, and
love it.
Yeah. Like I said, when she saw that, I heard her comment and gasp and Wonder Woman, like, yep. Aaron says Wonder Woman and Batman kick ass.
They really
literally
do.
They do. Literally.
They really do, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do in your free time? I know as a pastor and a comic creator, you don't have free time. That's a funny word to you.
Yeah. In my free time, if I have it, I do like to play music, but I really like going on hikes with my wife and kids. Like that's probably one of my favorite things is to take a weekend and, just go somewhere and, to a state park or something and just get away and decompress and unplug.
But that's like once a year. If you're pumping out the
Yeah.
comics that you're pumping out, and like I said, you're a pastor on top of it. So
Yeah, we try to do that because we homeschool the kids, so we try to like work that in maybe once a quarter. So once every 3 months we do something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty busy life.
Aaron says he wasn't keen on the new movie, but still awesome character. Wonder Woman rocks. Looking forward to the Snyder cut. Oh, I'm not even
Yes,
gonna go
he's
there.
a Snyder Cut guy. All right, he's my kind of people. I'll tell you, I was not real. I have never gotten offered a job to work for any of the the bigger studios, but it's one of those things where I would love to. I would love to do like a cover for Wonder Woman or things like that. So I just have to stick to fan art.
Well, so if DC came up to you and said we need a cover, you'll hit them up, no problem.
100%. They wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay, so all my peeps out there with still connections to DC, there you go. Get them hooked up. It's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah,
but,
I know. I'm not.
He's not as hooked up with DC as he likes you to believe.
No, I didn't say me. But half of our friends. Oh yeah, I worked for DC. I worked for Marvel. Somebody has to have some connection still.
There you go.
I'm trying to help him out. That's how we support. Aaron wants to do an Aliens comic.
Like Aliens, like the movie Aliens.
I'm gonna say he says he already has a storyline. Dream come true to do it.
Yeah, I always have to ask. I know he capitalized Alien, so I'm thinking it's like Aliens the movie, like
That's
a comic
what I'm
book for
gonna say
that.
too.
That's what I think, and that makes sense, and that would be awesome. And
He's saying, "Yep."
Yeah, but if you just want to do a comic book about a alien, like that's Superman, right?
It's half the superheroes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now speaking of superheroes, who's your go-to superhero?
Hulk.
See, now he's back in my good graces. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I love Hulk. He's always been my favorite. Like I said, it was that cover of Secret Wars.
Secret Wars,
where the Earth is like and there's Hulk holding it up.
He's holding the whole mountain that they dropped on him. Yeah.
Yep. And that's him saving all these other heroes. And I'm like, that's just. In fact, I use that as one of the homage covers when so my hybrids books 1 through 5 on the old campaign that's still in demand. You can get the homage covers, and I should have had them in front of me. They're over there, but yeah. So I did a set of homage covers for that first arc too. So.
No, that's back when Hulk was awesome. I'm not saying he's not awesome now, but that was back in the day. Like he has 600 billion tons above him, and he's saving everybody.
Yes.
I know that cover.
Yes,
I love the whole Secret Wars series.
Yeah,
so
you can't see it, but just thinking about it gives me goosepimples. I love it. Like that's the issue that made me fall in love with comic books. And it was the Hulk that drew my attention, and so he will always be my favorite character.
See, everybody knows me. I'm Punisher. I'm everything Punisher. If you look at my wall, I have Punisher up there.
Yeah.
And talking about Mike Zeck, that Punisher is from him right there.
Yeah.
That's all him.
I noticed that right away. Mike's work is tremendous, and his Punisher is my favorite Punisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm Punisher and Turtles. So if you look over here, I got Turtles, I got Punisher. Over there, we got Wonder Woman at Abu.
So, man, I really wish that I still had it. I really wish someone had given me an original Eastman Ninja Turtle #1.
Oh.
Like, because I was a big fan of the Turtle comics, the Turtle cartoons as a kid. And they said, "Here, I found this in a garage sale, this comic book, and I think you'd really like it." Well, I hated it when I first read it because it's like, well, they all got red, and they like it's they're not like because they were nothing like the cartoon, A couple years later, read it again. I'm like, this is so much better than the cartoon. As you get older, you really appreciate it more. And then that was one of the comics that was in my long box that I had left over at a friend's house. And when I went to go get it back, like, we had lost contact. I said, "Oh, by the way, I'd like to get that long box full of comics back." He goes, "Oh, I sold them." I'm like, "They weren't yours to sell." I said, "Well, how much did you get for them?" Because I think I sold the whole bunch for about $150. I go, "Dude, there was comics in there that's worth thousands of dollars. What are you doing? We're not friends anymore." He didn't even give me the 150 that he made off of it. Like
man, add insult to injury,
Yeah, I was like, you could at least give me the 150 you made off of the. Yeah.
Well, Aaron says, "Damn, mine too. Hulk smash. Also, Wolverine. Hoping rumors of them getting a movie is true."
I've heard that they're thinking of doing that, and I really hope it's true too.
Well, since they have the whole all the mutants now, I mean, they can do what they want.
They can do whatever they want.
Yep. And they can sit on it and not do one, and they still make money off of rumors.
Yeah.
So what kind of TV do you watch?
I mostly watch streaming stuff. I don't really watch live TV. So I watch a lot of old reruns of Office and Parks and Rec, and Criminal Minds. I'm a huge Criminal Minds fan. And Law and Order SVU, Law and Order Criminal Intent. And then, The Mandalorian I was a big fan of. I'm really liking WandaVision right now. Yeah, but for the most part, that's it. Mostly reruns. I could probably quote The Office verbatim.
Well, see, speaking of WandaVision, I've been watching it mostly. I wasn't huge. I've been watching it mostly to see how close they're going to keep it to the House of M story arc,
Yeah.
And I like what they're doing. Because they have it updated and everything. So that was my biggest thing. How are they going to update that whole story arc?
Yeah. So I'd kind of given up hope that they would ever kind of follow the comics. So I don't really go into that, go in thinking that anymore. Like, hopefully they, follow the comics. I'm like, I'm just going to take it for what it is, because normally I get disappointed. Well, that didn't happen in the comics,
Oh no, I've been like that. And that's why I said I just wanted to see, not if they stay verbatim, because I know they're not going to. Yeah. I just want to see how, because that was 30 years ago, that story arc. So how do you update that, to nowadays?
That's pretty interesting. I am curious to see how they wind up wrapping that whole thing up. But I did like what they did with with the last Marvel movies with Thanos. I thought, the idea behind the Infinity Gauntlet and all of that Infinity Wars before, when it was just to try to impress Death, I thought, it's like, so basically he's a simp, like that's but they kind of evolved his character a little bit to have a moral reason. Yeah, a moral reason for doing it, however wrong it might have been. But
yeah, but according to in his thinking, he wasn't wrong. He was doing the right thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, see, I'm hearing myself on yours. That's cool. That's the first time I've done that.
I'm trying to copy this link and send it out to people. Let people know to come by and check it out. And I try to do that in the middle of a stream all the time. Like, hey, come check it out.
See, that's why I love having a Trish, because she does all that stuff. She starts hitting it to everywhere. So that's why she gets quiet there for the first half hour, because she's throwing them everywhere.
I got a whole lot of Twitter followers. I don't know how that happened.
Bonus.
Yeah. So I always throw things out on Twitter. I try to. So I realized that I had a lot of Twitter followers. So I try to be on Twitter more, and say things, and share things, and but I always find myself back to Facebook. Yeah.
Well, that's because we're old. Facebook's for us old people.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Well, no, because I have to do if it doesn't relate to like cat videos, Trish doesn't deal with it. So I have to do the Instagram and the Twitter and all that. And
Yeah.
she might go over there to start to do a tweet, and then I look over and she's like got cat videos and
It's not cat videos. It's stupid fail videos. I love watching
those
what
are
stupid
the
people do.
best. Oh, watching people fail makes me feel so much better about myself.
Right? I'm sorry, but one of my
Absolutely.
favorite things is watching the people who live in the cold states and they step outside on their slanted driveway, not thinking they're going to slide all the way down.
So I grew up in Indiana, and we knew that if it had iced outside, and you had a sloped driveway, don't walk on the driveway, especially with
Walk on
black
the
ice.
grass.
Yeah,
you walk in the snow. See, I'm from Colorado. She's from Nebraska, so we got the whole snow thing down too.
yeah, you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Watching people here drive when it rains. You just want
They're so bad.
Okay. You see how everyone went silent? You had that awkward silence after that comment.
that's okay. I still want to smack him.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally agree. Yeah,
But he has to be nice because he's a pastor.
I do. I refuse to drive with any of my congregants in the car in Jacksonville. Here's the thing. Duval County, I kid you not. Duval County is like Mad Max at Thunderdome here. It is mayhem in Duval County. And
There may be
Jeez.
some choice words.
my salvation is tested every day I get in the car and drive in this stupid town.
You got one of your people, Pops, saying Luke.
Yeah, that's Pops Van
Actually, he's
Zant.
not saying Luke. He's not saying Luke. He's going Luke. So there you go.
Pops, you need to get to know Steve and Trisha here. They are really cool people. Pops also does a show. He's got a group on Facebook called The Madness. And he's a huge promoter of comic books and indie creators. And so, yeah, you guys should definitely get to know each other. He does a thing called CromCon, which is an online convention that features indie creators. He's done several of them now. I think, what is it, like 10 or 11 that he's done? I'm sure he will tell me in a moment how many he's accomplished. But yeah, but Pops is a good guy.
Okay. Well, Pops, meet Trish. Trish is back there.
Hi.
There you go. I send everybody her way because she is the program director, even though I have to remind her everything.
It's good to have backup.
Aaron said, sounds cool. And I think he's talking about CromCon and what Pops does.
Mhm.
And comments are just going quicker than I can tap. So, yes, comic-related madness, about to do CromCon 11.
11, yeah. So there's this huge community of indie creators out there. It's still very much an industry, but I think that there are people there's these networks that get created that are really, really cool, and there's quite a few of them that are popping up, and so I've been able to find some through Twitter, through Facebook. There's just a whole mess of us out there that are trying to, that really go by that whole rising tide lifts all ships mentality, that we really try to lift each other up and build up the community. And that's why I'm like, if somebody's running a Kickstarter or a Indiegogo, and just because I'm on Indiegogo right now doesn't mean I'm not familiar with Kickstarter. I've been able to, especially with the help of Travis, learn that platform pretty well. And, just happy to help people out, because, we all succeed together. The more people that are buying indie comic books and that are going to crowdfunding to get those comic books and going into comic book stores and asking for indie comic books, and the more creators that are creating quality work and fulfilling and getting their stuff out there, the better it is for all of us that aren't attached to one of the big 2 or 3. So that's my thought on that.
Oh, no. That's why we started doing this way back when, was to help even just the local artists, not just the indie comics, but the local artists and everything, help them get a wider reach than what they could just do themselves. Because as Aaron will probably tell you, we say this all the time. Trisha's whole thing is what we can't draw. You do your whole.
We can't draw. We can't make comic books, but we know how to promote.
And that's the one thing we can do is promote the hell out of you guys.
And that's so appreciated. And a lot of these people that I know on Twitter, like they're making books, but they also have shows and they try to promote and things like that. But it takes so much time to like schedule the shows and do the shows and to do the YouTube thing and to be really good at it and have any kind of level of quality to it, that it detracts from being able to create. And so that's one of my things. I'm like, I would rather just like be someone's like funny sidekick and draw so that I can keep making content for people to promote. It's we need more and more content. I heard it the other day. It's like, we need to create our own new Star Wars universe, instead of relying on these other companies to continue to give us what we, give us these stories. We need the new, like there was a George Lucas who came up with something new and presented it to the world and no one thought anyone would want it. They really didn't think it would, but everyone loved it and wanted it. We need more people doing things like that, creating these new universes.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, I'm very new to comics and graphic novels. I have 2 issues of mine complete. My Kickstarter is for 1 through 4. These chats are awesome. I'm glad we can help there, Aaron. And Pop says, sounds exactly like him. Not a writer or an artist, just a fan with a platform. And then Aaron's back. I am a writer. Can't draw for shit, though. We're close enough to the 9 o'clock. I can cuss now. Okay. Now, how many fur babies do you got?
Okay, so I've got my pup, Layla. She's my girl. Love that dog. And then my son has a cat named Raven, and he's old. And I think he might be immortal. Like, he's really old, and we thought he was going to die. So here's this weird thing. We were living at this one place, and he was kind of getting sick. And we, during this move, this transition, he stayed on the back porch for like 2 weeks and didn't even move, but he was like still breathing and alive. And then one day he just got up. He had like this weird, like gray patch on him, and he was looking real shady. Like, and he took off, and we didn't see him for like a whole week. And he came back, and his fur was normal, and he was fat. He still had his collar on, but I'm pretty sure that some other cat mugged him and took his collar and like stole his identity, because it's like a whole different cat. Like he like regenerated or something, like some Doctor Who crap going on there. But so that's my son's cat. And then my daughter
you did say the cat's name was Raven, right?
Yeah.
Well, see,
not Phoenix.
Yeah, but the father, Trigon, got a little demon going on. You never know.
He might. I don't know. And then we've got a guinea pig named S'mores, and that is the most high maintenance pig in the world. But my daughter dotes over the thing. It's a pretty cute little creature. And then we have a turtle. We have a little turtle that we've had since my daughter was 2. She's 18.
And it's still little, because mine grew so big I had to let them out.
Well, they will only grow as big as their habitat, and so we've tried to keep him in a smaller habitat. It's a funny story about the turtle was my daughter was 2 years old, and we went to this place called Meyer, and they had a Super Saturday thing, and you could win a goldfish. And she won a goldfish, and she loved it. She called it Fishy, and she laid down for a nap, and Fishy also laid down for the eternal nap. And so while she was asleep, I was like, "Oh crap, the thing died, right?" And she just got it. And she comes to the kitchen. We had the kitchen gated off because she's 2. We don't want her wandering in there with the dishes and stuff. And she comes there. She goes, she's reaching over the gate. Fishy, Fishy, Fishy. And so I had to tell her, I was like, sweetie, Fishy went to heaven. He's not here with us anymore. And she laid on the carpet and cried for 2 hours. I kid you not, for 2 hours, bawling her eyes out. And it broke my heart. She's daddy's little girl. She's had me wrapped around her little finger since day one. And so I was like, I'm never going through this pain again. I'm never going to let my little girl hurt like that again. So we went to go started researching pets, and I found out that turtles live abnormally long lives. They can live to be 50, 60 years old. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to buy her a turtle. So we go to the 4-H fair that was closing. It just had like a day or two left. And there was a school group there that had done a science project, and they had hatched a bunch of baby turtles, and they were selling the turtles for $0.25 so that they could, because they had to get rid of them. It's like, well, they have to do something with them. So they're raising money for the school. They're selling them for $0.25. So we went and I bought her this turtle, and it was about the size of $0.25 at the time. And so that was 2 years ago. And she named the turtle Spots. Don't know why. But
actually, I had one of my turtles named was Spot. So
Yeah.
I had 3 of them. One of them I named Spot because he had one big spot on his belly.
Yeah. I see Aaron said possessed cat, Pet Cemetery. That's what I thought. But he's still pretty lovable, I don't get it. Like he seems young and spry, and he's like 12 years old.
I see. I want to go back to the turtle thing because I love turtles.
Yeah.
So my turtles, I started, this big, baby. Yeah. And by the time I finished with the 3 of them, I was in a 100-gallon tank that
wow,
spanned my whole thing. And the only thing that ever upset me about them, because, you buy some feeder fish and to make them exercise and chase and all that, they became friends with the darn things. They refused to eat them. I'm like, come on.
Spots has never had a live fish. I don't think she'd know what to do with it if we put it in there. She's always had Reptomeal, so she's always had turtle food, and she has bit me. Yeah.
Ow.
I should mention that we don't get along for some reason.
I can see that.
Because
I used to be able to feed mine the mealworms and stuff out of my fingers, but not Trish.
No. Nope.
Yeah. It seems like they pick one person to like, and then they don't like anyone else. And then they have one person that they really dislike. And I'm that one person for that.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah. The turtle hates me, but not as bad. We had this neighbor that came over to feed the turtle while we were on vacation once, and the turtle started headbutting the glass in the tank. Did not like this person at all. Jeez. None of our pets like this guy. None of them. And it turns out there was a good reason not to. And I'll just leave
I was going to say, most animals are good judges of character.
Yeah, they are.
And Pop says he has a 180-gallon tank for sale. Oh no, I'm good with my 70. I had an Oscar and we just lost him. I've had him for about 5 years or so. Yeah. Another one that he was that big, and then he was like this big by the time he ended.
It's incredible how they grow. Yeah, we found out that they won't grow out of their habitat. So once they get to a certain size, they'll grow to a little bit bigger, and then they'll stop growing so that they don't outgrow where they're in. And so we had made the mistake of keep getting bigger and bigger aquariums. And then that's when, the vet was like, no, just keep her in that, or just keep him in that. Yeah, just stop. And then he'll stop growing. So.
Yeah, that's what my downfall was. I kept getting bigger and bigger. I started with the turtles. I started with, the 10-gallon tank, and then I went to the 20, then I went to the 30, to the 50. I'm like, and then somebody just gave me a 100-gallon tank. I'm like, oh, that would work great. I built a whole little world for them in there where they could come up, sun themselves, this and that, and.
I had a friend who had this massive, probably 200-gallon tank in his house for his turtle, but they didn't clean it, and so it was dark and murky. And I always felt so bad for that turtle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, No, I even got the canister filters. I had this thing set up because turtles can be dirty anyway, so you got to
Yeah.
get a good
Always, yeah.
filtration. And I got these canister filters that did like 400 gallons a minute, and yeah. I spent a lot of time on my turtles, and then it just got to the point we had a huge pond out back, and it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let them go into the pond, and you could still see them. They'd come up in sun close by and stuff, but you could see they were much happier out there.
I'm 100% positive that Spots would not make it in the wild. Like, he is very, very much domesticated. Yeah. But I will say this about turtles. You're right. They're very dirty. They're like the middle school boys of the reptile world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just love getting their turtles, but they don't understand how much work goes into keeping them good.
Yeah.
But that goes with any pet,
It really does, yeah.
And Pops is saying we had a lemon and albino Oscar. Our Chinese catfish killed them. Well, the funny thing, Pops, is I had two Oscars I had an albino one and the regular orange and black one. And the orange and black one was so mean, it was bullying him, that the albino one jumped out of the tank.
Wow.
I mean, you would see him, he'd be over here, and the orange one would come over, just hit him. Not like bite him or anything, just kept headbutting him, just being a bully to him. And
wow.
It's like, until one morning we came out and he was on the ground. I was like, okay. And then we found out we couldn't have anything else in there because that was his tank, that was his domain.
Territorial and kind of a jerk. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, he was a big jerk.
But then again, I could sit there and feed him worms from my fingers where Trish couldn't get anywhere close to it, because he would come up and hit the lid. If he saw her walking up there, he would hit the lid to tell her who was boss.
Wow.
But guess who had to feed him every morning?
I guess Trish.
And Pop says, yep, they are very mean to each other. Yeah, they are. Didn't know that when we first bought the two of them.
They're cool fish.
Oh, they are. They have attitudes and personalities. Like, if you would move something around in his tank, he would sit at the bottom and sulk like a little child. At first, when he first started doing that, I'm like, is he dead? And I would go in and poke him with the net, and he would move and then go over and sulk some more. And it's like, if you did anything he didn't like with the tank, he sat at the bottom and just sulked.
I will say this: the turtle rearranges his tank.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, like he will move like his basking rock from one side to the other. He'll move different things around. And does this, you'll hear it scraping. We've got vaulted ceilings in our house, and so he's upstairs in my son's bedroom, and you can hear like that'll echo through the house. This turtle like scraping and scratching. If you don't know what it is, so the first time we heard it, it freaked us out because we were new in the house. We only been here a couple years ago, so like the first time we heard it, we're like, "What is this?" I'm grabbing my guns. I'm walking around like I'm gonna take somebody out. What is this? Turns out it was just the turtle rearranging his tank. So,
pistol packing pasture.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
He's gonna go home and
he's
home, but he's gonna write all this down and make shirts.
Yeah, I put the N in Indy.
Yeah, see. But no, I'm sorry. We talked. I saw all the pictures of your dog, and it's like we have 3 ourselves. Well, we actually have 2. Our daughter, who now lives with us, has one that it came to join us. So, and one of my dog, we got at a convention. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had the Brevard County animal. My dog's sitting there biting me now.
Right.
The Brevard County Animal Shelter Sheriff's Department was there, and we were at the convention doing our things, taking the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And every time I turn around, he was there because they were walking it around. And I kept telling my wife I want him. She's telling me, no, we already have dogs. But at the time, I traveled a lot for work. And I'm like, but I'm very lonely on when I travel by myself, because I'm gone for a week or two at a time. So I could really use some companion. And so she finally let me go ahead and get him, and he's been my best friend since.
Wow.
Guess he doesn't travel anymore.
Yeah, now I don't travel for my job, but it doesn't matter because she even has to admit he's the best dog in the house.
Yeah, we adopted Layla after we had moved here. So November of 2014, we adopted her, and it was President's Day, I think it was.
So it's like anniversary next Monday.
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't 2014. Like whatever. It was President's Day. I think they had a deal going on. So yeah, I don't think we'd adopted her yet. So it was the next year that we had the next spring that we had adopted her. So 2016 and or 2015, I mean. And we went and we saw her. She had these big giant puppy dog eyes, and we were like, yeah, we want to see that one. So they took us into a room and they brought her in. And the first thing she did was she just jumped up on our laps and started licking all of us, like just rolling around. And I was like, she's my dog. This is the one. I want this dog. And so her name was Lola. I can't have a dog named Lola because of the song,
Lola.
Lola, LOL. Yeah. I'm not the world's most sensitive man, but I know what I am. And that is a man. And so is Lola. I couldn't keep thinking about that lyric every time I saw the dog. So I'm a big fan of Eric Clapton. So we named her Layla because it's same, so she would respond reasonably the same. But we wound up calling her like Layla Lou. We call her Lou all the time. We, call her different stuff, and she responds to all that stuff. But we thought that we were getting a 3-year-old dog. And she laid around for the first couple of days, but it turns out she wasn't 3. She was only 1. And so we basically still had a puppy on our hands. And so we were not prepared, and she was rambunctious, but that's been a few years now, and she's calmed way down.
Well, that's like with Max. His name was Ben. And because to finish the story about getting the dog at the convention, when she told me I went to go over there, they had already left to go back to the sheriff's department. So I sped across town to get over there and said, we're here to adopt him. And they're like, we just got here. How did you beat us? I'm like, do you want him adopted or not? So this is the sheriff's department,
Yeah.
So, and he came and we walked out to the truck, and I'm looking at him, and I opened up the door of the truck, and he just jumped right in. And I'm like, you do not look like a Ben. I said, you look like a Max. His tail started going, and it's like he knew his name.
Yeah. No, Pops, I'm not taking a walk on the wild side. Do.
And Aaron was saying over there, new comic for the Pistol Packing Pasture.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Let's do it.
Okay, I guess we should get back to the comics. But see, this is what I like. I like people getting to know who you are, not just what you do.
Yeah, I want people to go give me their money. I mean, clearly, that's why I'm doing this, right? I jest. But I'd like to just to talk and get to know people and answer questions. That's the fun part. 20 or 30 minute or even an hour-long commercial about my books. No one wants to listen to that.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the whole reason I started doing this stream. It's like, because everybody always gets together. Like when we saw each other at the convention, one day we got to get together and have a drink or something like that. And I was like, well, through the computer, I can make that happen. We can sit there. You can be in Jacksonville. I can be here. We can have a drink together, chit chat, shoot the breeze, and people learn a little bit about you.
Yeah.
I thought you froze there for a second. Like,
no, see, I do this Drax thing. Where I sit very still, and people are always like, "Did you freeze?" I'm like, "No, I'm just."
That's why I'm sitting there. It's like, oh man, he froze. And Aaron says it's all about the money.
About them Benjamins, right?
But see, Aaron, it's one of those that I don't mind spending my money on the comic book, but I like to know who made that comic book. And I like to know, I like to know the person behind the comic book.
I'm kind of the same way. When it comes to that stuff, I do like to know who I'm supporting. But in the same respect, as a creator, I try to add the most value as I can to my campaigns. So like you can get this book, this issue for $7 because it's a 32 self cover. So it's got 28 pages of content on the inside. So I make this book so that I can, I make it $7, but then it's $5 shipped, so to your door, it's only $12. So I try to add a value, but you also get a trading card with that. And then right now with the stretch goals, we hit the stretch goal for the patch. So you would get a patch added in on that. The next stretch goal is going to be an additional trading card, a hollow foil trading card. So if we can hit another $500, we'll do that. And so we've got, all those kind of things. I just try to make a lot of value to the people who back it. And so it's not like we're charging $10 for a 20-page comic or something.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And if you're reasonably close, I'll hand deliver them.
Well, see, I like that because like Roland with Silverline Comics. I don't know if you know Roland. He'll do that for me. He'll text me, hey, I got your stuff. Are you coming to the convention this weekend? And he'll bring it to me. So.
Yeah, I know Roland. Big fan of Roland's actually, from way back in the day. Malibu Comics and all that. I was a big fan from way back in the day. So it was an honor to get to meet him. And I was like, hey, this is really cool. And then like we've talked a lot about different comic stuff, and now over the it's some of those things. Like I got to meet a hero of mine from back in the day named John Celestri, who was who actually one of the animators for the He-Man series. And so I got to meet him, and I'm like, man, this is really cool that life has brought me in a circle to where I've been able to connect with people that impacted my life growing up. So
oh yeah, well, trust me, like when we started doing this, when I got to meet John Beatty for the first time, which he helped create the black suit, all that,
yeah.
And I'm a big fan. I sat there and stuttered talking to him, like, hi, how you doing? And then while I'm sitting there and I'm uploading pictures and it come across John Beatty likes your page, I freaked out. I started yelling at Trish, oh my God, John Beatty just liked your page. And now he's become a really good friend of ours. I've not
fanboyed yet, but I'm sure there's a time going to happen when I might. I've been able to keep my cool.
So that's always one of my questions. If you get a chance, who would you fanboy over?
Probably Mike Zeck. If I ever got a chance to meet Mike, I'd probably be like, dude, you don't understand. Like, you do not understand. Like, I'm drawing comics right now because your freaking work spoke to me. So, yeah.
And I can, like I said, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I said, with Beatty, it was one of those, I loved his coloring, all that kind of stuff, his work that he does. And the first time I got to meet him, it was like, how you doing?
You want to hear something real funny? Most of the time, I don't know people's names because I just associate the work that I've seen. I don't associate it with names. I didn't pay attention to the credits growing up. I was, it's Gambit or it's Wolverine or it's the Hulk or it's Wonder Woman. I didn't care who was writing it or who was editing it or who was coloring. I didn't care about any of that stuff. It was all the same to me. And so now people are like, do you know this person? They're like, no. And so I've met people that are like so far above my station. And I was like, I don't even know who this is. And they're like, well, they did this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't act like an idiot in front of them. So
see, and that's the nice things, because sometimes it's only certain people that I really do know, like how you would know Zach in a heartbeat. Boom. I'm the same way. I have a couple people that I would know in a heartbeat. And then some people, like you said, oh, well, that was so-and-so. Oh, really? You didn't know that?
I would know Jim Lee. I would know Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. Obviously the Image guys, I would know them. George Perez, love his work. Absolutely love his work.
That's my fanboy.
Yeah.
I love George.
See the Minion?
Yeah.
Super Minion?
Yep.
That's George.
That's George. Yeah, you can tell that's George's work. Yeah. So yeah, big fan of George. I like Capolo.
Small, somewhat well-known fact: we got to eat dinner with George at IHOP.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
I bought him his fruit plate.
Yeah. Like I would know, like, obviously there's names I would recognize, but I don't know that I'd recognize them just by if they walked in the room. I'd be like, oh, do you know who that is? I like Greg Capullo's work. I might recognize him. But yeah. I mean, there's so many greats that have paved the way.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And like you said, there's only a handful that I would know. Like my daughter, this is a story we love telling everybody, so I gotta tell you too. Because my daughter volunteers at MegaCon every year, and she always gets put in the artist alley because of what we do. And one night we were sitting at dinner, and I asked her, "Okay, what'd you do over there today?" "Oh, I had to watch over some guy who does comics." And I'm like, "Well, which one?" "I don't know his name. He drew The Dark Knight." And I'm sitting there, a fork right here in my hand. It's like, you got to sit and talk with Frank Miller. "Yeah, we talked about me in college and this and that." I'm like, do you know how people are paying $300 just to come see him to get a signature, and you sitting there talking college with the man. But she didn't know he just drew Dark Knight,
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a guy that I'm friends with on Facebook that I'm always like sharing what he does, and he shares a lot of what I do. And I had forgotten that he's like a legit comic book artist that does he's worked for all of them, And I'm like, one day he's like shared, "Oh, just did this for warm up," and I'm like, "You draw?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you do." So I was thinking, I was like, "Oh yeah, that guy draws." I thought he just shared funny memes on Facebook. That's what I thought he was doing. So,
but see look here in a couple of years, that's going to be you. Somebody's going to say, "Yeah, I know this guy Luke, and he draws all this cool stuff," and you're going to say, "No, I'm just Luke."
No, yeah, I just share stuff on Facebook and Twitter. I share inspirational memes and sometimes things that'll make you mad.
I think
that's just for the trolls. I think that's just for the trolls. Sometimes it's fun to get a troll worked up.
Isn't it though?
It really is.
I'm upset because usually over on Twitch, because we're streaming with Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Usually on Twitch, I have at least one troll by now, so I'm kind of disappointed.
There's. I just found out over the course of the last couple of days, and today I just found out like another person, but that I've actually got a couple of people that are not only rooting for my failure, but they're actively trying to take shots when they can, with people. And I'm just so honored by that,
We get it.
Because that means that I've achieved some level of success that they must be jealous of. And I'm like, I didn't realize that I was there, but I'm going to take that and I'm going to keep swinging. Let's keep swinging.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm like, this is great. I felt really good about it. And but yeah, I was on a stream the other night, and there was a guy who has a tendency to just troll people, and and I'd been on streams before, and he had never said anything negative to me. He'd never trolled me, and I was like, God, I must not be very good. Like he hasn't come at me or anything. And I was on the stream the other night, and he came at me, and I was like, "Oh man, thank you."
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I first started doing the stream a couple years ago, I get mad. It's like, don't bring that stuff here. Now it's like I have fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I know some of the trolls are just doing it for fun, and the ones that are really haters, who cares? I'm still going to do what I do, and encourage other people to do what they do.
You're not cool unless you got haters.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's when you've made it. Like you were saying, that's when you know you've made it. When they're coming on to try to knock you down, it's like, well, that must mean I made it somewhere.
Yeah, I got two people, one that I barely know at all, one that I know only really kind of in passing and working with once, that are, I'm like, I'm living rent free in their head. This is pretty, that means something, that they're upset, that whatever it is that I'm doing they're either jealous of or I don't know what it is with them, but it is what it is. Here we are,
Oh yeah.
My mom always said, they're just jealous of you. That's why they mess with you.
Or they're just trying to feed off of your success.
Could be that, yeah.
Okay, so I got to ask the question because it hasn't got brought up yet, and it usually gets brought up by at least one of the viewers. So, pants or no pants tonight?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I'm wearing pants. Okay. I'm wearing my shorts. I'm wearing the short pants, but actual pants. Sometimes I just wear pajama pants, or I've not yet been on a stream where I was no pants, because here's the reason. What if something happens and I have to stand up, and I don't need anyone seeing anything they shouldn't see, So, yeah.
Well,
Good answer.
I had to ask because ever since like Scott and Amber were on the show, it's become a weekly thing because she was fixated on pants during the show. So everybody always asks about, so are you wearing pants or not? I was like,
so lately all of our Sunday services have been virtual. And they're done right here. I normally take down the trash man and chlorine and ion picture, I don't feel like maybe this should be my backdrop when I'm preaching the gospel, but
hey, you never know. That could be.
It could. But I normally take that down, and then but I sit right here, and so I have gotten more casual. I don't put on a dress shirt anymore. I'll just wear like whatever I'm wearing now. But I've never not wore pants. I've always had pants on for all those.
Okay. Aaron says, congrats on your trolls. Later, guys. Needing my beauty sleep. Up for work early. Good luck, Luke, with your Indiegogo. Looks great. Any advice would be great. Cheers. Be safe. Stay healthy. Aaron, do me a favor. Sometime tomorrow evening, get hold of us. I want to talk with you also. I can't give you great advice like he is, but I got a couple questions to ask you. So,
but find me on Facebook or Twitter and message me directly, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your campaign and see what you've tried already, and maybe I have some tricks that you haven't tried that might help. So, yep.
So have a good night, Aaron. Thanks for coming by. And talking about Roland. Roland's actually going to be on the show next week.
Oh, sweet.
Because Silverline is a sponsor of the show, so I give them a monthly Silverline spotlight.
I'm a big fan of Silverline and what they're doing over there in Roland. Great guy, great company. Cheering them on for certain. I'm definitely in their corner.
Oh yeah, they're one of my. Roland's always been one of my favorites. I think it's just because of the stories. Me and him can sit and talk forever.
Ever.
Wow, getting thrown under the bus on that one.
Oh,
what's in that movie where they say forever?
The Sandlot. Yes, the Sandlot. Forever. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love Raymond though.
Oh yeah,
Raymond.
Raymond.
God.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Roland.
Oh, wait till I bring that up.
No, you know what that reminds me of? Do you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so where Ron Swanson sometimes he goes, "I'll just call someone by the wrong name just so that they understand where we are, so they understand where they stand with me."
There you go. Now he knows where he stands with me.
Exactly.
Okay, but he also knows you don't remember anything, so.
Oh.
Give me just a little.
But that's one of the good things about having a relationship for a few years. He knows you.
Yeah, true.
And he wouldn't expect anything less. And Aaron says, we'll do awesome later, guys. I hope Aaron has a great night. Now, did you put on his Art of Luke Stone page or just Terraform?
I can go find it.
Let's see. Because Trish was tagging Terraform Comics up there. She tagged your Indiegogo up there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're real excited about the Terraform release. You know, I think I'm $480 away from the next stretch goal. So,
Luke, do you have an art page?
it's Luke Stone Studios on Facebook or lukestonestudios.com.
It's
Got
raining, isn't it? Yeah, we're getting storms.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's why he won't sit down.
My doggy doesn't like storms.
Oh, I understand that. I don't know a single dog that does.
Oh, the other two are just sleeping through it. He hates it. So it's bugging him. But it's going so loud I could hear it through the headphones. So there you guys go. Luke Stone Studios, it's there. Just tag on it. You can go over there. You can stalk him like I did.
Yeah.
And you can learn all kinds of cool stuff. Now, because you notice I even had your engagement picture over on the intro.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, look at that baby face little punk. Where'd he go? I look like I ate that guy.
No, you look like Trash Man back there. Come on.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with their names? I'm going back to the comic books again.
Okay, so some of these characters were actually designed for a role-playing game called GURPS. So some of these characters were characters that I had built for that. And so my idea with Trashman is his real name is Clarence, but he actually does, like, he is an actual trash man. Like, that's what he does. And he doesn't like to be called Clarence. He's just called, he was the trash man, and so it just got shortened to Trash Man. Some people call him T, and so that's how he got his name. And that's why we actually call the first arc Trash Day, because it starts out with him at work. He's just recently gotten his powers, didn't know about it. Bad guys come to abduct him. Good guys come and try to foil the abduction. And so that's how we enter into the world of hybrids, is through this guy's eyes. So.
And anything, it's Chlorine, right?
Chlorine is this gal right here.
That likes green.
Yeah. She can turn herself into a gaseous form that's poisonous, like chlorine. And so that's how they got the name, some clever name. Her real name's Sarah. Oh, no, not Sarah. Amber, I think. I've got so many characters that might roll around in my head. I have to remind myself sometimes what their real names are. I've got trading cards. So each trading card, we've got real, like, all their stats.
So you got the cheat sheets right there.
I do. I have cheat sheets, and I've got a guy named Nick Tockard who has developed a role playing game that we're working into putting into book form to publish, and I think he has these memorized, and I really do. So Samantha, her name's Samantha.
Okay.
Sarah was close. Yeah, Samantha Lane.
I'm going to put up a bigger picture of her right there.
Yes, that's her new costume. Yep. That will be the holofoil card. Like when we hit the 2,500, that will be the holofoil card that we get. So you'll get the details that you get on the back of the card here, all updated for her new for the new character, for the new costume.
Yeah, I like those. Those are like the old school, like Marvel and DC.
They
cards.
are. Yeah, they're the homage to the old cards. Just really liked them, And so we were doing them with Starcross, and so I'm still giving out the old Starcross cards, but the new series of cards aren't going to be Starcross branded anymore because I'm not with them. Obviously, I'm with Terraform. So I left Starcross. What was it? June, July last year to start Terraform. So I wanted to build my own company.
Now, do you got a lot of people already signed with Terraform, or?
We have we have 5 founders, but we just added in, and I can't make the announcement yet because the announcement goes out on the news tomorrow for the Comic Book Newswire. But we have 2 new partners that we're announcing that have kind of joined the inner circle. And we do have other people that we're working with as far as creators go for the Continuum. I'm getting ready to work on a project with, I'll be officially announcing it soon, but Martha Schwartz will be drawing a book that I'm writing. And so she does Seed Seekers, which is on Kickstarter right now.
I have all her series. I got the posters. We know Martha, so
yeah, wonderful creator. I'm so excited to work with her on this project. But we'll be announcing more about this next week. Really cool with that. And then we've got Austin Janowski, who is bringing his book Dawn of the Dead to us.
That's why I bet you if me and Austin are really good friends.
Okay.
So that might be where I heard Terraform.
Probably. So he's releasing his one shot. Yeah, he's released our one shot with us. And then Russ Leach is bringing over just a preview of his book into Terraform's Continuum of Only Death Can Save Us. And so we've got that. And then obviously we're working on our own IPs. And so, yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
So see, like I said, you got your hand on all the hot indie people here in Florida.
Yep.
Hopefully, yeah. We might pick up a couple more too as it goes along. So.
Yeah, I bet you. Like I said, now that you said Austin, that's probably where I heard it, because Austin was the very first person I ever interviewed.
Oh, really?
So, yep. And he's the one who actually pushed me into doing interviews. He kept asking me when I was going to start doing them, and
he has had a great career, and it's by far it's not over.
Oh yeah,
it's not over by far. So yeah, he's got a lot more good to pump out. So we're real excited about the release of the one shot of Dawn of the Dead. It's a really cool story that goes along with the web series, and so we're so happy to be partnering with that. You will get a preview of his book in this first Continuum, so you get to start the story, but then we're going to release the full issue, 40 pages, just beautiful book. We're going to release that in October. I think it's October. Rob is he's one of the founders of, Rob Anderson is one of the founders of Terraform. And so he's our logistics guy. And so he keeps track of like what's going into Kickstarters and Indiegogos and stuff for us. So I can't do all that myself.
Oh, why not? Come on.
Well, because I would forget. Yeah, I would forget.
You have all the extra time. You're just sitting around, strumming the guitar. You could do all that.
Yeah. Eating Cheetos. I'm not doing anything productive.
Right. Yeah, well.
So yeah, but yeah, we're looking forward to that because also later this year, we're going to launch 2 imprints off of Terraform Comics. One called Sandbox Comics, which is meant for all ages readers and young readers, and then we're also going to do one called Subterra Comics, which is more adult-oriented stuff. Darker themes. More violent. Not more sexual themes. We're not doing any porn books or anything like that. That's not really what we're into. But more like. You don't want some teenager picking this up. This is for the adults that want comic book entertainment, And so we're releasing those 2 other imprints this year. And, that's where our like horror and, where our horror books and stuff like that will go is in that Subterra. And then Terraform Comics will continue to be kind of the young adult teen. If you're an adult and you want to read something that doesn't have a lot of swear words or anything in it, that's where you go to.
So that your type of books is the Sandbox one.
Yeah, we've got some really cool. You aren't listening. We got some really cool stories going in there. Meredith Logren, who's one of our founders, is writing one that's going in there. We're also I'm also looking for people to add their books, their stories into that imprint. But Danny, hey man, what's up? Danny works at the Collective in Orlando, one of the best comic shops most supportive comic shops, especially for indie creators that you will ever meet. If you're in or near the Orlando area, go check them out for certain. Go check them out.
Yep, they're Altamont Springs up here. So
Yeah, and they moved into the new location yet? I heard they were moving to a new location.
You're gonna have to ask Danny because as far as I know, they were still there.
Yeah.
But I since they're in Altamont, she drives by them every day, so that's why I ask you. Thank you so much, Luke. Yep. Oh no, we like the collective. We've been up there many times. They're moving on the 17th.
March 17th. And Danny is also working on his first comic book. He's becoming a creator.
Woohoo!
Yep. So he's joining the ranks of the perpetually broke.
He's moving on St. Patty's Day.
Nice. I'm green with envy. But I'll see myself out. Thank you.
Okay. Super fun times.
Yeah.
Oh. No, we like the collective. They've always been a supporter of ours too. We don't get out there as much as we do the closer ones. Love Luke and Hybrids.
I always like going there because they wind up giving me sketch cover after sketch cover to work on, so I never get bored. I just draw the whole time I'm there.
Well, here, because here in Orlando we have so many comic book stores. Literally sold one to a customer on Monday. That's sweet. Look at that.
Awesome.
Because when you're down here, you need to go to Living Dead Comics and talk with them because he's a huge supporter of indie comics also.
I will make sure to go and tell him that Steve sent me.
Oh yeah, he knows us. That's our home store here. We've been ever since they took over the store.
Yeah,
because we've been going there before they took over, and they took over the store about 5 years ago, and they've built that store up. Living Dead Comics.
I'll definitely check them out. Thanks for that.
See, Danny knows he loves Lee. Good people. Yep.
And while I'm
Living
shilling
Dead.
for Danny and we're shilling for Living Dead, I'll go ahead and shill for Kingdom of Comics in Melbourne. They're amazing. And then Gotham City Limit here in Jacksonville is great. Ben over there, it does an amazing job with that store. Very indie friendly. Has a lot of really cool books in his store. Stocks the coolest books in his store. And then obviously the Delaires over with Mythical Mountain that's down in the Mandarin and also the St. Augustine area. So yeah, definitely some great stores out there if you're in this Florida area. Check them all out.
We were just at Kingdom of Comics last weekend.
Yep.
So, but we were hitting a whole bunch last weekend. So, well, because we got to spread the word about the convention. So,
oh yeah,
that's why we're going to Tampa this weekend. So where are when you come down to Orlando area, where are some of the places that you like to hit besides, like you just said, Kingdom of Comics and the Collective? Anywhere else you like to hit out here?
I haven't gotten around too much yet. Normally when I'm in Orlando, it's I'm either there with business for so that's where our state offices are for the church. So I'm either there for that, or I'm there with family. We're going to Disney Springs or something, or somewhere, or I'm there to go to the Collective. So yeah, it's about 2.5 hours away, 2.5 hours away. So when I'm in the area, I normally have like a task, and so I'm only there for a few hours. And so I typically will go to places that are recommended. So this new place, I'll definitely go there because they've been recommended.
Yeah, Living Dead. Like I said, it reminds me of the small mom and pops that we grew up with. It's not small, but it's they still try to stick to that mom and pop mentality.
I love that.
And what con do we have coming up? What you want for this month? Or are you talking about my con, Danny? Because not my con, because my con is actually a con. The convention me and Trish are helping put on, or because what this weekend is
Otronicon,
and well, I don't want to say it because he's collective. He's not part of that branch anymore, and they might have like bad blood. So there's a road show going on this weekend. And then the weekend after that, you got Sci-Fi Bartow, and then you got the Retro Rama pop-up show there at the Ramada Conference Center there in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. We've got I really like these kind of one day shows or kind of like they're toy shows or collectible shows.
Yep.
One of the things I found, it's easier for me to sell my book if maybe there's only one or two other creators there, and that it becomes even exponentially more easy to sell the book if people don't have to pay a lot to get in and they're not trying to pay for some autograph of some famous person.
Agreed.
Yep. we agree.
Yeah.
So
it's like
there's this show coming up.
Oh, and Danny's like, he loves Sci-Fi Bartow. Everybody loves Sci-Fi Bartow. Now, Luke,
does your guys' show, do you have any artist tables available?
I think we might have one because we had them all kind of pre-sold, but we got one guy who's not answering. Kind of quit doing responding back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to end up probably sending him, if I don't hear anything, you're gone type thing.
Okay. Well, if you wind up having any cancellations or openings, let me know. I'd love to be able to come set up.
Okay.
Awesome.
No problem. Because like I said, we basically almost sold out the whole show in about a week and a half on tables. So that's a good.
I have tons of books to sell. I need to sell some books.
And Danny says, let's get Luke in there. No problem. Danny, I want to do another shameless plug real quick. And I'll tell you the one that we're talking about. We're talking about the Olo Comic and Toy Show, which is a one-day show in March 28th.
I love your logo. Who did your logo?
Graven Ravenwolf.
That looks great. It's fantastic.
Well, if you see that logo, if you look up in the corner, the Deviants, Orlando Collector Deviants logo, he did. And even for our show logo, the Drinking with OCD.
Okay.
Graven is a logo making fool. I mean,
I'll have to get a hold of him because I need logo after logo after logo. So,
oh yeah. And see, I even asked him if he could do something to the logo, and he was able to do that. We have the logo that's COVID friendly.
COVID friendly. I love it.
It worked perfect.
It worked perfect, and I asked him if he could do it, and within a couple of days he had it back for me. And
nice. Tom, that Brick City, it's a little hard for me to message right now, but if you could go to my Facebook and message me and let me know who to contact for that, I would love to get in on that.
We'll talk after the show.
Okay.
I have an in with him.
Oh, awesome. I'm just checking the calendar real quick to make sure April 17th isn't Easter Sunday. No, it's not. So we're good. It's a Saturday.
and Danny, we do have flyers. I actually told Trish to bring some by, so I'll make sure she has them in the car and she can bring them by tomorrow because she comes right down the road from Apopka.
Drive down right down 436.
And just so you know, Luke, Tom with Brick City and Ocala right here, he's also the one who did the land that we met you at.
Oh, I would love to get into land next year too. Tom, I loved the show. It was great. I don't know how you were able to get traffic there, but I mean, even for the venue and everything, I didn't feel unsafe there. It was really just top-notch job.
Yeah, because Tom does that show. He does the Daytona show. He's partnered with Brick City. He's actually a big sponsor of our show.
Nice.
So Tom is the con father. If you need info about a con, you get hold of Tom and he'll let you know what's up.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely want to get in on all these shows this year because it's been a year without conventions and I'm ready to get back to it,
Oh yeah, I think everybody is. So
Yeah.
that's why, like I said, we basically sold out of tables that quick. We have a few left. Just saying that to some people. We got a few left. Other than that, I think we're gonna have a great show on the 28th, and we will talk because I will get you in there.
Sweet.
Because like I said, I have a feeling the guy's gonna flake on me.
Yeah.
So we can get you over a contract and everything.
Sweet. I got these cool new racks. Haven't been able to use them. These are really cool racks.
Okay, Danny said, did we talk about Voodoo Nation 2 yet? We just touched on it a little bit.
Touched on it. I did send over some art for you guys to look at. And so yeah, Danny, I have finished the art for Voodoo Nations 2.
And Tom says Daytona will be in September 18th and 19th also.
Is the website up for to buy a table for that yet, Tom? I had been trying to follow the website as best I could, but
okay. So going back over to Voodoo, yes. I have art. I do have the artwork because we put up the cover for number 2. We were talking about that.
Yep.
I don't like to jump the gun on showing the artwork because kind of more as we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I finished the artwork for the book last week, Danny. And so the colorist is working on all the colors now. I've started to see some of the colored pages, and they look great. This will go to.
Hold on, sorry, I'm going. I don't have colored pages. You didn't send
I didn't send
any
colored pages yet. No, this is just line
Yeah,
art.
no, I'm sorry. I'm looking. It's like I don't have colored pages. Oh my god.
Danny, yes, that is a new character. This issue, that is Maria, and so basically what it was I was told to draw a sexy goth chick, and that's what I did.
Now I want to tell you, everything that you sent me, I love this one.
Yeah,
I love something about that. Just pulls me. You know.
Yeah. So I love working with Travis. Travis is a tremendous writer. And so what'll happen is sometimes he will give me like, this is what the page should look like. And then I'll look at something and I'm like, I said earlier, I like to watch Criminal Minds. And so there was an episode where this guy was just articulating people and making them marionette puppets. And so I just drew a lot of inspiration from that. And I thought, man, there needs to be spikes that put the ropes, attach the ropes to the body. I think that's the way to do it, is spikes. And
that's cool. Like I said, that one pulls to me, and I'm going the opposite way. I thought of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where he makes the marionette out of the veins and everything, and that's kind of what I saw. I know that's not what you're going for, but that's almost what I saw.
It's art, and whatever it conjures is what it should do, you know. And that's what I like. When people's like, "Oh, I really like that," like this speaks to me. And so, what's fun about this book is I typically work with a layout artist by the name of Brian Dawson, and he had to take a little bit of a break. And so I did all these layouts myself on this book. So this is all 100% like from the brain of Luke. And so, I'm pretty happy with it. And how I love how it turned out. Of course I do now, but let's wait in a month or two and see how I feel about it. But as of today, I'm happy with it.
Now I'm gonna pull up this one. I do have a question for you on this one.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell what is reflecting off of the eye.
Anyone that's familiar with the series will recognize that quite quickly as Bishop Lucas's face. And so this was one of those pages where Travis had given me kind of this, this is what needs to happen. And I drew it, and I didn't think it looked scary enough, So I've been doing a lot of studying for like horror. And I really wanted to capture the suspense and the horror aspect of this book. And so I thought, I'll just do this. And so I did it. And thankfully, Travis liked it. But it's turned out to be one of my favorite pages. Yeah.
Okay. And as you see, I'm not, I don't know the voodoo one. So
No. Yeah.
that's why I'm
yeah.
sitting there. What is
Yeah.
reflecting in the eye? There's something, I just couldn't see it.
And hopefully you will get to know it. I think, here's the thing. I think when you read it, you'll love it. Like, it's really, Travis did a great job writing it. And so it's a book I've really enjoyed working on.
Let's see this one.
Honestly, a simple page, but one of my favorites from the book. When it comes to sequential storytelling, I'm like, man, I nailed this. Most people have no idea. They're just like, okay, yeah, but what's the big deal? But anybody that works sequential art, they learn that this is hard to do. It's action scenes are easy. It's these kind of intimate moments, the emotional moments that are difficult to capture in sequential art. Those are they're much more easily defined and expressed within motion than they are with static images. But it's one of my favorite pages. So, and it probably will be for a few weeks anyway.
So the next one.
Until I hate it. Yeah.
See, I like that one too, of just the streets there in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. This was a challenge. So I actually went and found photo references of all of these places. And my background in art school is I used to freehand photos. Like, I would look at something and then draw it. And so this took hours to do, but that's what I did. I looked at pictures of these places and tried my best to replicate what they look like, and took hours. And so one of the things that Travis had done was he really wrote a lot of scenes with New Orleans, and I wanted to make New Orleans a character in the book. I wanted it to feel like we were there,
No, and talking about that, I'm gonna Danny's gonna hurt me because I'm gonna switch out of that. You're also a photographer, correct?
I am. Yes.
So you have that photographer site where you can see the in depth, and do you bring that to the drawing the comics too?
I do. I think of everything as being framed up as a photograph, or like as video, like how the angles and cameras should be. And so I think that's, why I like working with Brian Dawson so much, is because he kind of gets that action and those like focal lengths and stuff like that. Because a different lens will stretch the scene differently than another one. So like, a logger lens, does different things to the perspectives and stuff. And so it's nice to do that variation in the comic. And so that's one of the things I tried to do with this one, was be very intentional about using different focal lengths and, trying to draw from those perspectives. And when I couldn't go out and take a picture myself, obviously I don't live near New Orleans, but I found as many as
10 hours away. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
10 hours away.
Yeah. But like, if it's like a pose or something, I wanted to know what it would look like, I would take my camera out and go set it up and put my markers, like, okay, this is what the distance would look like. This is how the field of vision would work with this angle, with this camera, with this lens length. So I tried to be really smart about it. It took me a while to do all the layouts for it, but I'm pretty happy with the work.
That's why looking at that, I'm sitting there. It's like, that looked like some of Trish's pictures, because Trish is the photographer. She
nice.
has the cameras, the different lenses, and that's why I could kind of see that. That's what it reminded me with some of her pictures from when we were just there.
Yeah, I scoured photos, the internet for photos of New Orleans, so I could just get all kinds of views and shots of the place and the streets and stuff like that. And then I compiled the best, and I just sat down and ruled it out and started drawing. Took me hours to do that page.
Well, I can imagine, because there's so much detail. See, that's one of the things. I love artwork. I love art. That's why we do what we do, and just the detail that you put into all that.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit of a trick there. So it looks like a lot of detail, but there's this technique that I had to where it's not a lot of detail. It was, once I started inking, there was a lot of little things, but if you tried to do the photograph exactly how it is, there's just no way that I could produce that on a comic page in a reasonable amount of time. So I use the brush with like thick, like light to thick lines to fill in where some of that detail is, so that way I don't have to do all the very fine, minute details. And so that's where, some people would do, I've seen a few tricks, especially with digital artists, what they do for a background or landscape like that. So they'll take the photo and they'll find the edges, and then they'll make that their ink, and then they'll fill in the other parts. So basically it's like a trace, but it's not. And then some people will just flat out like trace it or whatever, but none of those techniques would work and still make it look detailed. So in that situation, you just rule the thing out from your perspective lines. You figure out where they're at, you rule it out, you look at the picture. It's like, okay, so I have to reasonably make those shapes look super detailed on this comic page that's going to be this big, so I can't draw every brick, or I can't draw every bar on a railing, so I got to figure out a way to make it look super detailed and to fill in, so your brain fills in all the information, but still be able to get this done. And it doesn't take me weeks and weeks to do a single page. And so I developed a new technique for it, and I think it works.
Hey, as long as it works for you, that's what's the best thing to help you out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hit on the 10 o'clock. Usually, unless you want to keep going, usually we end it around now.
But I'm fine to do whatever, brother.
But I always one last thing. Anything that you want to shout out, where you're gonna be at, where people can see you next, how they can see you.
Yeah. I don't have any shows scheduled right now, like live streams, that I can think of. Yeah, I think my schedule opens up pretty wide now. This was the last scheduled one I had for this week.
I got him last.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll be popping on a couple more of those, but I'm for certain we're going to be at Tampa Bay Comic-Con this year. We still have our table from last year. There's a lot of smaller shows that we're trying to get on, and so I'm trying to fill up my calendar with all of those right now.
We know of a few shows he's going to be getting in on.
Yeah.
Shows, one in Ocala and one probably in Orlando. So
one in Orlando, one in Ocala. We will be doing some signings at some different stores, especially with Voodoo Nations. And then I've got Danny, looking forward to that. And then I've got probably I'm going to try to set up some signings for any of the stores that want to hold the new hybrid story in the store. So
okay, cool. And you got the Indiegogo going, and that goes till when?
It goes till the 28th. So we'll end at midnight Pacific time. So 3 a.m. our time. But yeah, so on the 28th is be our last day. So
wait till the last second, guys, and don't hit it until right then. Okay.
I would prefer not that. I do have a really cool cover. It's called the black cover. That's only available during the Indiegogo.
I saw that.
Okay, hold on. I got to show it because I did fall in love with that too.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This will not be on the in-demand, so you can only get it during the Indiegogo. It is also available to the retailers for the retail perk, but we're only printing 100 of them. Okay. So I've got 70 available. And so I'm more than happy to place an order. I do have a retail pack that gives you 10 copies of cover A, 5 copies of cover B, and 5 copies of the black cover. It's about $100 difference in margin from what you pay to what you sell them for. So you're making some money off of those as a retailer. So any retail shops that might be interested in that. But that black cover, if you are looking at that black cover now and you think that's really great, I'm going to wait till the end to get it. 2 things. Only 100 of them are going to be printed. There will be a trade show version, but it will change slightly from that. So the first original is going to be only 100 copies, and it will not go to in demand. If you get it, it's only going to be during the 28-day campaign.
Now, see, what I'm noticing is you got it part of that one, but not part of that one.
Nope.
So now I'm having issues. So, because I don't know a lot about.
We do
I
have
don't know
an add-on.
Oh, there is an add-on. Okay.
Yeah, so you can add it on if you want it to
That's
anything
what I
that
was
you
going to
get.
ask.
Yeah.
Because I don't know a lot about Indiegogo, but I was going to ask if they had the add-on because
They do, yeah.
Okay. Because you know I'm looking at that one. I've already kind of decided that one.
Yeah, it's such a cool tier. All of that swag, and it's a pretty good discount off of what everything costs off the website. So I'm not trying to make money off of that swag. I just want people to be able to enjoy it. You know, sip your coffee while you're wearing the hat, having your backpack on, cuddled up with the blanket, you know.
There we go.
That's him every day.
Yeah, that's me every day. I just look, I might have to get a second blanket just for my dog though. Because my dog
we do have the blankets as add-ons too. So all of those are also add-ons. So whatever tier you get, you can customize this stuff the way you want to. Because I'm an a la carte kind of shopper, you know. I like to just put it all together. And so I build my campaigns the way I like to shop. So
because yeah, my dog, when he jumps up on the couch with me, he has his own blankie too. So we gotta have matching. See?
I'll enable this all day long. So
See, she did like you until you said that.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
Now I do have a question on one of the things that you sent. What is this? Boom.
That is the patch. At $2,000, we unlocked a stretch goal. And so that is an iron-on embroidered patch. And everyone would get that patch. That logo is special because that is the logo of the Hybrid Engineering Corporation, which is the corporation of our bad guys in the comic. So I thought I had developed that logo for the company. It's on their trucks. It's on their, some of their uniforms. And I'm like, this is a really cool logo. I should make this a patch.
It is cool. I thought it was going to be a patch, but I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to say, was it a patch or is it a sticker?
Yeah, so anyone that backs the campaign will get that because we've hit the $2,000 stretch goal.
Oh, and there's the trade paperback, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You can get the standard version of cover A for the trade and part 1, or we also have the variant cover where you get the Nitho Diaz cover and the variant and the Kanan White variant for the trade paperback.
So yeah, I wanted to do the rest of the tiers that you sent me so we could talk about them, even though I'm still stuck on this one. I mean,
yeah, it's a great tier.
I mean, you get a backpack and a blankie. Come on, you can't and a hat. Come on,
and a hat.
But see, you can get the hat over here, but you get the hat and a blankie.
Yeah.
So see, I'm pushing for that tier for you. It's not limited, right?
I think maybe 50. I don't think I limited it. I think I left it wide open. So yeah.
Okay, cool. There we go.
I don't think anyone's gotten that tier yet. So.
Oh, now I'm scared. Is that expensive?
It's 125 for all of that. Yeah.
She got that look on her face, like but.
I know he's gonna get it anyway, so I don't even know why.
What it is, it's the backpack that brings that price up because it's $45 for the backpack at cost. So it's $45 for the backpack and then $40 for the throw. So you add those together, it's like $85. So everything else is relatively cheap.
Not worth it.
What?
I said not that it's not worth it.
Oh, she like she told you, it's already gonna get bought. So and now it's just
it's there for the people that really love swag.
That would be him.
I hate to be that materialistic guy, but it is when I'm kind of backing stuff. The cooler the swag, I'm more likely to get. But I'm also one of the guys that I love when you guys put in art pages.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
just you, but some of the other artists and stuff. I love art pages.
Yeah, I do have some original art that I can unlock and sell, but I haven't quite done that yet. It's been up for a bit, but I have. So I mostly work digital, but occasionally I'll take a layout and I'll print it off in Blue Line, and then I'll do a traditional pencil, and then I'll scan it and take it back in and do digital inks. So yeah. Occasionally, so I have a couple of those, but.
Like I said, I'm like I was telling you earlier, I'm all about the artwork. That's what I'm just so fascinated with what you guys can do as a drawer, drawing the comics and all that. I wish I could even have an inkling that my stick figures would look that good.
I do have a thing at 75 backers. I'm going to do like a regular, like 11 by, like a smaller piece that will fit in with the books, but I'm going to do an original pencil and ink. And one of the people will get it by drawing. So I'll put in all the numbers, and then I'll just put in a randomizer, and it'll pick one of the numbers of the backers, and then they get this special art. So
that is so cool. Okay, so Trish put in everybody can go up, and she has the Indiegogo in there again. She put that in there. So if you're watching this, sometimes since we are later, we get a lot of views tomorrow. So for the guys watching this tomorrow, let's see, we got a new comment. See, Trish just put in an Indiegogo again for everybody. Click on that. You got till the 28th. Don't wait till the 28th. Wait till the 27th. Don't wait till the last minute. But the killer black label, black cover is limited, so don't sit on it.
Don't sit on it. Yeah.
And
all this other stuff goes. Yeah, all this other stuff goes out of goes off this the campaign. It will go in demand, but you'll only be able to get cover A and cover B. So that's the only things available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Say hi to your mom. Anything? Boom. How you going?
No.
Okay.
She's all good.
Okay. As long as she's good.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
And so this, guys, Luke Stone. It's been a long night, and I haven't even drank. I've been having soda tonight.
All right.
Luke Stone, Hybrids, with Voodoo Nation, Terraform Comics. He is a man of many talents and a pastor to boot. So I still think you need to do that whole confessional behind your table.
There may be something to that idea.
So go to his website. Trish tagged it up there earlier. Go to the Indiegogo. Go to all that stuff. Come to our show because you might see him there. Definitely gonna probably end up at Brick City. So go see him at Brick City. That'll be one of the closest conventions. Have you ever, Luke? I know that would be almost a 3-hour drive for you. Have you ever been to Sci-Fi Bartow as a guest?
I have not.
You need to go as a guest. It's an outdoor convention. It's free to the public. We call it is a block party that has spanned 10 blocks long.
Oh, nice.
And I know Danny said he loves Sci-Fi Bartow. It is one of the greatest events of the year, and it's free for the public to come in and see everything. So another shameless plug.
We won't stop plugging it until we get all of Florida to Sci-Fi Bartow.
Yep. Because we just had the promoter on last week on the show for it. So next week for the show, we will have the Silverline Spotlight. We will have Roland, and I don't know which guest Roland is bringing out.
I don't know yet.
I'll have to bug him because he usually waits to the last minute to tell me. Other than that, you'll see us handing out flyers and posters at all the comic book stores in Tampa this weekend. And then if you want to see us in person, Sci-Fi Bartow on the 20th.
Handing out flyers and stuff.
And I think I just put Luke to sleep.
Yeah. I look down at my screen and I forget that my camera's up here. So I try to I
do the same thing. So if you don't have anything else, Luke, we will play the outro. And I'm going to take that as he doesn't have anything else.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. So until next week, guys, be safe. See ya.